Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen, and I'm back for another live stream brought to you by Princess Dental Staffing. So happy everyone could be here with me today. So if you are brand new to these live streams, just know that we do bring you these live streams weekly on Wednesdays. So if you don't want to miss out on future streams, be sure to follow our page follow our page and like our page and subscribe to our channel if you don't want to miss out on future streams. And every week we're bringing you another topic that talks about how to start and how to maintain your career in the dental industry. And if you want more information on any of the topics that we're covering, be sure to check out Princess Dental Staffing's website at princessdentalstaffing.com, where you can find their blog and read a little bit more about the different things that we discuss in these streams. And it's also super easy to create a profile and start searching for jobs as well. Hello, Sahar. Nice to see you. And of course, during these live streams, if you have any questions, thoughts, insights that you want to share, be sure to comment them below and I'll address them while the stream is live. And of course, if I couldn't get to it when the stream was live, or you couldn't be here when the stream was live, of course I'll definitely answer those later. One of us will definitely answer those later as soon as possible, okay? If you have a question about today's topic, okay? So speaking of today's topic, let's jump into today's topic. So today's topic, we're talking about how to hire good dental front office staff. So we're going to be talking a little bit about, just kind of the hiring process and, things to kind of, as a hiring manager, things to kind of look out for, and just some tips and insights on hiring the best staff that fits your needs, okay? So firstly, let's talk about dental front office staff, okay? And, let's start off by talking about kind of what they do, right? Just some job duties and everything, kind of put all of this into perspective, okay? So firstly, what do they do? Well, generally, and of course, job duties and responsibilities, they're going to differ a little bit from office to office. We're talking just kind of generally right now, just kind of a general overview of what they typically what their job duties and responsibilities typically are, okay? So, for example, some responsibilities might include greeting patients when they enter the dental office, right? Scheduling and canceling appointments, handling billing and payments, filing insurance forms, managing dental office inventory, and ordering new supplies and equipment. They're generally the first people that a patient sees when they come in the front door. So, with those kind of job duties and responsibilities in mind, let's talk a little bit about some of the skills that you'll want to look for and how to look for them when you are going through, like I said, the application process for hiring your dental front office staff, okay? So let's start off by talking about hard skills. Actually, let's start off by talking about the difference between hard and soft skills. I know we've done several streams on this, several videos on this, but let's just kind of do a quick refresher, right? So everyone's on the same page, just in case we have someone new joining us today. But hard skills are going to be those technical skills, okay? Those are going to be the skills that are teachable, trainable, and generally easily testable, okay? And your soft skills are going to be those skills that are a little bit more personality based. It's just kind of part of who the person is. Okay, they're going to be a little bit harder to test generally, and like I said, they're generally going to be a little bit more personality based. Okay, so let's start off with the hard skills. Okay, so some of the hard skills that you want to look for and where you find them. Okay. So it's a really good idea to look for applicants who have previous work experience, specifically in a dental office or at least an administrative office, just so they so that they have a background in honing these kind of skills and developing these kinds of skills in their career. Okay. So firstly, knowledge of insurance, right? You're in a dental office. You're definitely going to be, as a front office person, you're definitely going to be working with insurance processes and procedures, right? So you definitely want to have someone who knows a little bit about insurance. They need to be knowledgeable enough to know how to verify the types of insurance, okay, the different types, and they need to be able to discuss insurance policies and coverages properly with patients and to ensure their full understanding, be able to understand that different jargon that's related to insurance. right? So, hard skill number one definitely is knowledge of insurance, okay? Another one is the understanding of basic dental treatments and being able to use that dental terminology, right? Um, so they need to understand, especially if they're going to be doing the scheduling for, different appointments and different procedures. You definitely need to know um, at least what's involved, okay? So that you know about how much time it's going to take and if they need a follow up and those sorts of things, okay? So really good idea for your front office person to have background in that, okay? Excuse me. And then lastly, basic computer skills, right? I mean, it's 2020, we're all in the computer. So basic computer skills are definitely needed, different like Microsoft Office, Google Drive, something like that, depending on, what your office uses, but also, maybe even patient records, maybe if they're electronic. I'm not some offices are still on paper, but a lot of them have electronic records. So being able to update that information, being able to, use an online scheduling system, a cloud-based scheduling system, which, a lot of offices use as well. So just being able to be comfortable around a computer with your computer skills, different applications, typing, answering emails, all these different sorts of things. Since a lot of that time is going to be spent on the computer. Okay. Question coming in. What kind of previous administrative experience would you look for in dental front office staff candidates? Definitely dental front office if you can, but, also, you might also consider just general front office, even like a medical office or just even in a type of office where, the person would get a lot of visitors, okay, and have to interact with a lot of visitors. Especially if they had to use a lot of industry related jargon, even if it's not specific to the dental industry, at the very least, that they can grasp these concepts that are specific to where they're going to be working. So it'll be, a quick learning curve, right? So those are just kind of some of the things. So it's definitely beneficial to look at previous work experience for those hard skills, right? Or even, it doesn't necessarily have to be paid work. It could be volunteer work or something like freelance work or something like that. But those are, mostly your hard skills are going to be found either in your work experience, volunteer experience, or even in your education as well. So, take a look at those sorts of things to kind of find, to get a good idea of the candidate's hard skills to see how well they match up with what it is that you're going to need, okay, this person to do, okay? So let's talk a little bit about soft skills. Okay, again, soft skills being a little bit more personality based and a little bit harder to quantify and to test. Okay, so there are definitely some behavioral and personality traits that you're going to want your front office person to have and be in possession of and be good at, because again, they are generally the first face that your patients see when they come in the front door. Okay, so they're going to have to be able to have some of those soft skills in order to interact well with patients, with their coworkers, and with their team. Okay. Firstly, organizational skills. Okay, so keeping track of all these forms and records, whether they're electronic or whether they're paper, they're going to have to be able to be organized enough to kind of keep track of all that information and be able to retrieve it later when it's needed, right? Instead of spending all this time going, oh my goodness, where is that form? So organizational skills, definitely a good soft skill for your front office person to have, okay? And like I said, that could be, whether they're online forms or paper forms, either way, they need to be well organized, okay? Don't want to be looking around on your desktop for half an hour for one form. Secondly, interpersonal skills, right? Definitely a soft skill, the ability to connect with someone else and to relate with someone else and to engage effectively with someone else. They're going to constantly be speaking with patients about their appointments, treatments, procedures, and all those sorts of things. So it's really, it's just crucial to have those good interpersonal skills so that they know how to speak properly and correctly and be able to engage with your patients in a positive way. Okay. And then lastly, communication skills. Okay. So So that kind of goes alongside, kind of goes alongside interpersonal skills. They're related, but basically having those communication skills to be able to um, explain certain complex concepts, or being able to use, again, the appropriate industry jargon. And then also, and again, that's not just with patients, but also with their team members and their other coworkers, management, leadership, and everyone. Being able to use that correct jargon, being able to correctly explain yourself, and being able to have an effective conversation with someone else. Very important to be able to do that, because you're just going to be working with so many people on a regular basis. So communication skills, definitely very, very important. Okay. Those are just some of the skills to look for. Understand, that's definitely not all inclusive. And of course, every office is going to have kind of their specific needs, and they might have some, they might need some skills from their front office person that are a little bit different than everyone else's, but those are generally just some of the skills that you kind of want to look for. And when you're thinking back to when I first started talking about, generally what front office personnel do, you can kind of see how those skills relate to being able to do the job and do the job well, right? Using proper jargon in the dental office is so important for common understanding in the office. Yes, it's a shorthand, right? And it's not just in the dental industry. Of course, it's across multiple industries. Being able to understand the language, right? And being able to use those words correctly. And so everyone has the same understanding of what's happening and being on the same page. Yeah. So having, that jargon, that terminology, very, very important. Okay. Or at least being able to learn it quickly. Okay. So those are just some of the skills that we're looking for. So how do we kind of differentiate a good candidate from maybe a great candidate? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the interview, right? So let's talk a little bit about the interview. I know that interview is intimidating for a lot of people going in to be interviewed. And it's also kind of intimidating sometimes to be the interviewer, right? Just meeting with someone that you've never met before. And it can be a little bit jarring, and it can be, a little bit intimidating no matter which side you're on. But it's definitely an important part of the process, because, like I said, those soft skills are going to be a little bit more personality based. And so you definitely want to do an interview, especially for a front office person, because you want to be able to assess those kinds of interpersonal skills, communication skills, and those sorts of things. You want to be able to assess that for yourself and see how good a fit they are going to be, and have a good feel for how well they can interact with people, right? And use those sorts of soft skills as kind of a preview to what you can expect if you hired them, right? So really good at, absolutely pro interview. And if you are an interviewer and you kind of get a little bit timid or a little bit anxious, make sure you practice. Practice always makes perfect, so make sure you practice, use your phone or a laptop or iPad, whatever, something that has a camera, and kind of practice asking those questions, and practice your kind of body language and those sorts of things, and then kind of review it back. And that's just one way that you can kind of see, what might be a little bit off-putting and what is a little bit more inviting from your perspective. Okay. So just practice. You can even practice with other coworkers as well, kind of do a mock interview and kind of, calm your nerves that way as well. Okay. So some of the things to look out for in a job interview, speaking about their past work experience. So again, this is kind of a test of hard and soft skills, because when you're asking about, their previous experience, you get a little bit more insight as to their hard skills and the things that they've honed over the course of their career. So you get a better understanding of that. And it's also a really great way to see how they can relate their experience to what it is you're going to need in a front office person. Okay. So really good idea to ask them about their past work history, even if you have it on a resume. Really good idea to ask about it as well, just in case they have some details that they want to include. Okay. look for candidates who did their research as well. Candidates who did their research on your office or on your company, it's a good sign that they are interested, that they are engaged, and that they desire to actually be in this position. Okay, they actually have a desire to be in this position. Okay, they want it. Okay. Um, I've often said to a lot of my hiring managers previously when I was back in HR, I've said to them, passion for something, a desire for something, or the ambition to do something well, a lot of the times can make up for some other places where they're lacking. Not everything, mind you, but it's definitely always a good sign, because it indicates a candidate who, even if they're not exactly perfect, they're willing to work on it. It always indicates that to me. Okay. Just from kind of my experience. Okay. Um, so if they did the research, this will kind of be shown thoroughly as they speak to you about the position. And then, at the end of the interview, if you say, oh, do you have any questions for us? And then they kind of come back with some questions that kind of shows that they did their research a little bit. Okay. And then lastly, creating a discussion. So an interview should really be, kind of a discussion, not just, firing off questions and them firing off answers. It should be something that's engaging in a discussion. Again, we want to really test those soft skills, right? That ability to engage with a stranger, that ability to communicate with somebody, and that ability to engage someone else in conversation, okay, and communicate things well. Okay, so it really should be more of a discussion as opposed to just kind of like a back and forth, kind of that way, if that makes sense. A little bit more discussion based. Okay, again, it really just kind of helps test that ability to engage with another person that you don't know and have never seen before, and still be able to make that connection and build that rapport. Okay, another question here. Past work experience, asking questions can give greater insight than what is listed on a resume. Yeah, absolutely. I've constantly said, when we do these streams about resume writing, I've constantly said, you want to keep it clear, concise, and readable. Okay, you can't list every single job duty you ever did, because then you've got like a 5-page resume, right? So even if you look at a candidate's resume or an application, you have a pretty good idea of what they did, but you don't have all of the details, because, listing every single detail and them trying to, predict exactly what you're looking for is a little bit difficult. It's a little bit much to put on the applicant. But if you ask them, some specific questions, and ask them a little bit more, for a little bit more meat, right? A little bit more content in the interview, you'll get exactly what you're looking for. Yeah, absolutely. Two-way discussion, very important. Yes, absolutely. Just kind of, again, it's a little bit awkward to just fire off questions and then get answers back and just kind of move through it that way. It's just a little bit mechanical. But again, it's a really good test of their skills to, again, relate to somebody else and engage with somebody else. If it becomes sort of a little bit more of a discussion. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So those are all my tips, tricks, and insights for you guys today when it comes to hiring dental front office personnel. Sorry, one more question that just came in. Back and forth questions during an interview is crucial to picking the right candidate. Yeah, absolutely. We just want to make sure it's a little bit more of a discussion and we're engaging with each other. Yeah, absolutely. So those are that's all the information that I have for you today. Thanks for all the questions and insights, everyone. That was really great. I know we're on social media right now, but I feel like it's a little bit more conversational, don't you? So if you have any other thoughts, questions, insights, go ahead and comment them below. We'll get back to them as soon as possible, and answer your questions and kind of give you feedback as soon as possible. But otherwise, that will do it for me today, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. I hope you have a great week, great weekend. I will see you next week. We'll be back next week with another topic. And until then, have a great week, everyone. All right. Bye.